before I get to the Seahawks game, I want to say something to what you said before, which
Okay.
was we may need Jared Goff to throw 55 times to win us a playoff game, basically.
No, I was saying to put it in reference, he may have to win us a game. The running play may stall against a team that has a good defensive line. I mean, you can only be so predictable for so long before somebody figures out a method to stop you. And I believe that's what the Lions' biggest weakness is if somebody can stop the run game or make it stall and put the ball in Jared Goff's hand, which isn't a bad game plan to beat us. However, Jared Goff has proven as long as you can give him time, he can dice somebody up. So I was saying in the playoffs, future reference, he may have to win us a game. I didn't mean he may have to throw
Yeah.
55 times, but in the first quarter, if there's, Gibbs and Montgomery are both averaging 2 to 3 yards a carry, he may have
Okay.
to.
Okay, then we're really in agreement, because it was the 55 that was like I don't think we're gonna win any game when he throws 55 times.
Mhm.
Right? And I don't think you can stop our run. I think you may be able to stop the inside run, but at the end of the day, we can go inside or out. No one's out here specializing in inside pressure and outside pressure and second level pressure. They're just not.
Mhm.
No, there's no perfect team that has all that. Right. So no matter what, we should be able to either kill you with David Montgomery or we should be able to kill you with Gibbs, right? We have
Right.
our inside guy, we have our outside guy. On top of they're both pretty decent. Gibbs a little bit better at catching it in the short field and still getting first downs, right?
Yeah.
So there's no reason you should be stopping our running back game, right? And because that's not just rushing, I consider those short little 2 yard passes to the running back no different than a toss. You know what I'm saying? Like you really just tossing him the ball at that point. That's a toss to me. So I look at those like running plays, right? There's
Okay.
no team that should be shutting that down. If that's being shut down, Ben Johnson's not picking the right ones to go against that defense. You know, Jared Goff, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like I don't think there's no way we win any game when he throws 55 times. I think Goff only is Goff when he can have a running game around him. The second I feel as though we get relying on his arm is when things will go downhill for us. His arm kind of has to almost be a surprise shot, you know, like kind of how sometimes we surprise people and running on 3rd and 14, right? And we still get a first down. No different than, oh, you thought we was about to run it on first down, but we play action deep balled you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's to me when Goff is cooking, when we keeping you on your heels in anticipation of you don't know which one is coming now, you know? And because you don't know which one, you're gonna try to stop the one that hurts you the most, which is the run. So now Goff is gonna eat off of you, because now you're bringing your guys in. Our guys get to cook because we do have good receivers and everything else. So, but to the Lions Seahawks,
Well, to
that
your
game,
point, I think that it can be, I think to say it'll be a surprise shot, I mean, that's kind of along the lines of what I am saying. It's under
yeah,
the
yeah, I said that
predication that
first.
it's
That
under
I feel
the,
like we
well, hold
were
on, because
agreed.
I'm gonna touch something else. It's under the predication that a team can actually shut down the run, which isn't impossible. There's a lot of teams with a lot of good defensive lines that can put together the right play call. As a matter of fact, you saw it last year in the Thanksgiving game with the Packers, and a lot of the games in which a close score or whatever turns into a loss for the Lions is usually behind hey, we were able to stop the running enough to limit the Lions offense, right? If we run twice on first and second down and we only pick up 2 yards, then that's a third and long. And yeah, maybe Goff completes the pass, but it's short, and how many times does that happen over a game? And how many times does that non-conversion turn into points for the other team? It's a chess battle. I do want to remind you, however, though, that a surprise shot from Jared Goff can stop one of the best defenses in the league. And we saw it when Patrick Mahomes and him clashed in the Monday Night Football game, which some people would say is arguably the best Monday Night Football game they've ever seen. Personally, it's the best Monday Night Football game that I've ever seen. In my history of watching the league, both teams combined for I believe over 100 points. It was like 54-51, with the Rams winning, and Jared Goff went 31 for 49, passer rating of 117, outbeat not outbeat, but outplayed Mahomes in that game. If I'm not mistaken, and had no interceptions. in that game. So is it possible? Absolutely. Are you I'm saying I would expect it in the playoffs.
Right.
If somebody is going to come up with some sort of scheme to limit the run game and make Jared Goff beat them. That's just football. At some point, some team, especially in the playoffs, will look at what are the biggest strengths for the Lions? How do we limit that? And in that game, you will see what I believe to be if the Lions do pull that game out, is a Jared Goff led game. That's what I'm saying. And I believe in that Bucks game last week, or the week before last, that was hey, let's test this out. Let's test this theory out against a team we might have to play in the playoffs, which was the Bucks. 2 weeks into the season, yeah, maybe it's not the best showing. However, 55 pass attempts again is absurd. Even in that Monday night game, he only had 49.
Right.
But still, you may have to have that in your arsenal, is what I'm saying. So I believe in that Bucks game, that was them not even necessarily seeing if they had it in their arsenal, but just almost choreographing what that game could look like. I believe Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell are smart enough to know what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and they would like to show teams that, hey, we don't have our weaknesses, not what you may think it is. That's my point to the Jared Goff thing. But I think we're in agreement though. It's not something I expect them to just pull out of the bag. Like, hey, we're gonna have this game be Jared Goff led. But just in case it comes up in the playoffs, we're ready for it.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they'll be ready for it though. So, yeah, I think we have to be who we are, no matter what. I don't think we're a Goff throws us into a victory type of team. You know,
Well, let's just look at the
and
Bucks
and, and
game.
that's how Goff got to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Behind that play action. I think like 70% of what Goff throws should come after play action. He should not have like over half his throws be out of like straight shotgun. You know, it should come out of play action. It should be a healthy amount of behind the center. You know what I'm saying? Like a good mix. A good mix, right? Because I feel like because I want them to win. So I picture Goff in his best, and in his best when he was toe to toe with Mahomes. It was still like we may hand this off because Gurley was cooking in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, hey, you scored now, we got to go score now. If we take, time to score with this run, we gonna score,
Cooking was an
right?
overstatement. He had 12 carries for 55 yards.
Look, he was still effective. You know what I'm saying? He was still effective. And what was his receiving yards? Because like, hey, I felt like he was still effective.
It wasn't much. It was three receptions.
3 receptions.
Yeah, it was Goff versus Mahomes. That was the game.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, Goff only done that once. All right, Goff's only done that once. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying we can't rely on those kind of performances.
No, I agree with you.
He needs to have that healthy balance, right? Because
I
if we're
agree
going to
with you.
actually win the key games in the playoffs, I believe it's going to come behind a healthy balance. If we end up winning and this guy ended up throwing 50 balls, I'm going to be happy. Don't get me wrong. I only want us to win.
But you don't expect it. Like you're not.
I don't expect it that way. So I don't think they should ever outthink themselves. Which I'm kind of noticing with this coaching staff. This is really a coaching staff point, right? Because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that are like giving it to him. You're calling what you're calling. You're making choices, and he's going out there and he's going to try and deliver on what you were choosing. So it's like, hey, we shouldn't open up drives with 3 passes at any point when we have 2 of the best backs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with your point. I think even to that point, that's the confidence that Dan Campbell has instilled in the Lions, that Jared Goff is the quarterback, and if need be, he can pull out some victories. Now, I'm not saying that's delusional, but I am saying that's Dan Campbell's like viewpoint. Like you listen to him after the games, even games that we lost or Jared Goff didn't convert on 4th down. Hey, it's my fault. You know what I mean? And Jared Goff, what does he do? I'm put here to deliver on those plays. However, that combination after what happened with the Rams, with him being the scapegoat to Sean McVay's career, you can now
Yeah,
look and see that's what makes him. That's why he hasn't lost his confidence as a quarterback.
yeah,
But
yeah,
to your point though, and we said this after they lost to the Bucks, like you have two of the best backs in the league. You're absolutely right. On 3 downs, you should be looking to run it 2 times out of the three, and knowing Dan Campbell, that's 2 times out of the four. Hell, 3 times out of the four. You know, which is why they're there. And to your point again, that's what makes the Lions offense so dangerous. That's what makes them gritty. It's
that's
we'll
what
run
I'm
the
saying.
ball and we'll keep running the
Yeah,
ball. And what that does is set up Goff behind the play action. The offensive line is good. It's great. Behind Penei Sewel, Glasgow, Ragno, like it's a great offensive line. You set him up behind that and behind the run game that's going. He can pick apart he's already proved he could pick apart just about 31 teams in the league given time.
Manny, I'll end it with this. We hoop, right? If
Okay.
I go right 10 times in a row, you're naturally, when I flinch right, you are going to jump so hard right because it's an anticipation,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And now all of a sudden I'm going left. So then you adjust, you go left, I score, but now it's whoa, I didn't even know you could go. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't like, you put
It's
that
chess play.
confusion. It's chess, man.
And
Like,
here's where the Lions stumbled in the past and where they really stumble in any game that they lose is when, as much as it is chess play, it has to be set up behind it working. If it doesn't work, I'm going to expect you to go right every time. Like, I'm not going to have to think hard about it. If I have you guys down by 7,
but
hey, send this to the right. You know what I mean? If
yeah,
they go left, hey, they pick up 10, 12 yards. It is what it is. But you see the Lions again in the championship game last year, or even against the Bucks in week 2. Once they get predictable, they fall apart as an offense. You know what I mean?
yeah,
However, this is the point before we end it on this. I believe you got the Lions beating the Seahawks, right?
I do. I do.
All
I
right,
got the Lions.
same here. The defense is really what I want to focus on a little bit. Like, and not enough credit is going around. They've held every team to 20 points and under. Yeah, the 49ers defense, oh, it's great. Bosa, Warner. Yeah, the Rams put up 27 on them and won the game. They put up 20 against the Lions. And hell, they barely got to 20.
Barely.
And that's week 1. Kyler Murray, oh my God, this is his year. Marvin Harrison, 100 plus yards in the first quarter. Yeah, look at what he did against the Lions.
Look at what he did against Terry and Arnold.
And again, even to Terry and Arnold's point, I say the same thing every week. Somebody please get this man a playbook, a rule book on how to guard corners in the NFL. One thing I'm not saying, he's not losing his confidence.
Yeah.
He's you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
not most penalized, but he's not losing his confidence. And every play after the play that he gets penalized on, he's right there. And even on his play
No, I'm
action,
recording the podcast right now.
even on his pass interference calls,
Okay.
even on his pass interference calls, is like he's still there. Hey, look, after last season, if you're telling me that pass to Ayuk that bounces off Victor's head is a pass interference play and it's not a touchdown, hey, I'll take it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I want to bring up that. And obviously, Aidan Hutchinson, I believe, he said he's going for the sack record this year. I forgot how many sacks it is in the season. You got to have to break the record, but he said he's going for it. He got a sack in last week's game, and obviously he had 4.5 in the game before that. But just his defense, our corners, yeah, they're not great. Like they'll give up chunk plays, but they're doing
Hey,
better than last year.
and man, Aiden was like fifth in like possible or fourth or fifth in possible defensive player of the year.
I think he'll
You
get it
know,
if he stays on
and
pace.
honestly, bro, I remember exactly what was said on him coming out because I thought we were getting a hell of a pick, right? Because
Yeah,
we all watched him. Like if you live in Michigan, you watched him on Michigan,
yeah,
so we watched him like wreck offenses all year long that year in Michigan before he came out.
yeah.
And when he came out, they were like, "Yeah, but we think he's already at his ceiling," you know.
Mhm.
And but I didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? I saw a very hungry guy, right? And you
Mhm.
brought him, you know what I'm saying? You brought him from Ann Arbor to Detroit,
Yeah,
right? Like it's still two match made in heaven.
Yeah.
The only way this could get better is if we get Max Crosby on the other side.
Facts. Facts.
Michigan guys. I love that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
nah, Aiden's legit. Aiden is
Mhm.
legit. Terrion Arnold, I can't wait to see him by the end of the year,
Yeah.
right? When it starts to kind of come together for him. Like,
Yeah.
because it's like you're playing to me pretty well. Like everybody's like about the PIs. Like, hey man, at the end of the day,
You're there.
I kind of rather see those PIs than to see the guy mossing you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys remember how much of the last two guys we had, right?
Yeah.
You remember what Jeff
Bilford.
Akinanua, you know what I'm saying? And,
Bilford and
and then
Sutton.
and then Cam Sutton. Like, come on, bro. Like all those would have been TDs. You know
Yes.
what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Like Arnold's, hey, at least he's there, right? And
Facts.
I know you'll get better. You'll go from being there to being in the way. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a way that don't come with a PI on top of it. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro. The defense, I think you're speaking just right on that. Like they're really showing up, and DJ Reader hasn't even played yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had so Aidan is expecting more sacks because he's gonna have Reader with him.
Yeah.
We haven't even got our run stuff for Reader,
Yeah.
right? So hey,
And you heard it here first, folks. Big play Branch. I got a feeling that's what his nickname will be after
come
this
on.
season. Because he's only looking for big plays. And he almost had a pick in this last game, but Kerby Joseph got there at the same time, so the ball went out of bounds. And Kerby
But
Joseph got
Joseph be
one.
right there with Branch. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say that. Joseph be right there with Branch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been mad if you said big play Joseph. Like they both
Man.
be there. They
Yeah.
both be there and they be pick hungry.
Yeah.
I don't want that to bite them at the wrong time, but they do be pick hungry. They're
Yeah.
going for that ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially because you gotta remember, guys on the team are getting paid. What
Facts.
does that tell the other guys? Hey, if I have a first team all pro year, they gonna cough it up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So guys are trying to get paid too, man. What did Jameson say? I'm trying to get mine too. What he do week 1? He
Yeah.
looked like he wanted it, didn't he?
And to your point, again, touching back on the offense, man, to me, this is why I think sometimes a loss can be beneficial, especially to a team like the Lions, where, you guys have been to the NFC Championship last year. You kind of have an NFC Championship hangover. Your season doesn't start until the playoffs start. So it can affect how you play, scheme, and play call against certain teams. Would have JMO have the first 2 weeks that he had been the primary target, again, I don't know why that was, but I believe they sent the message to the league, and he's our number 2 guy. Don't even think we got a weakness there, which, is good, but relatively, please feed Brown and please feed Porta. He's a little injured. Please feed Wright. Like tight ends, you know what that is when it comes to Lions.
Yeah.
But JMO being there, the chemistry they're able to craft right now, it's scary. It's very, very scary. Not to mention, and a play I wanted to touch on, man, and get your opinion on that hook and ladder. Was that not
So
was that not Lions offense though?
but
Like you
no, was that not why Ben Johnson is going to be somebody's head coach?
man.
Like when he do stuff like that, I get happy, but I get mad.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
happy, but I get mad, bro. It's like, oh
Nothing
my
good
God,
lasts forever.
man. It's like, Chicago's probably sitting there right now, like, why didn't we just give that guy the $20 million a year? Like,
Man.
why didn't we?
Yeah.
Because Ben Johnson, like, hey man, like I'm just saying, if I was Genie Bus, I would sit down with that man and be like, listen, ain't nothing you gonna get as a coach that I won't give you right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know I'm being real, bro. I would sit with him like, what do you want? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Whether it's under the table, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna, bro. I'll put your family in all black Elades presidential editions,
Yeah.
with bulletproof windows. All
Yeah.
right. If you want a second family, I'll arrange that. I don't care,
Yeah.
like, brother. What
Yeah.
do you want? And you can have it all.
I
All right.
think the countdown clock on Ben Johnson, I believe it's about 2 years. I say 2 years because had we gone to the Super Bowl last year, probably would have
Nah,
took the head coaching job in Washington. That's just what coordinators seem to
I think
do.
it's over this year. I
No,
think
no,
this is
I
it.
say that's why I say 2 years. I say 2 years because again, had he gone to the Super Bowl last year, he probably would have taken a head coaching job. You saw that happen with the Eagles and their coordinators after they went to the Super Bowl. Like it's kind of the flow. Him not getting to the Super Bowl and the loss in fashion in which it came in the NFC Championship game. I believe these next 2 years are just to groom himself on what to do and how to actually be settled. Like you don't know what you don't know. And I believe you're still seeing that week to week. Like, okay, yeah, you got a little egotistical against the Bucks in that
Bro,
week too, thinking you
teams
could
were
do something.
teams were interviewing Aaron Glenn.
Well, that's what happens when you win.
You know
That's
what
what
I'm
happens
saying?
when you win. But again, to your point though about Dan Campbell, culture setter. This you see what happens when you're a culture setter as a head coach. Like
Yeah,
you can put your people in positions to have head coaching jobs. However, they know the core nucleus of why the team looks the way it looks. You know,
yeah,
like when it comes to again, when it comes to that offense, when it comes to that defense, like that culture is put there by Dan Campbell. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you know, so yeah, to your point though, man, I give it 2 years. If they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, depending on how they lose and what fashion, how it looks, he could be gone this year. I do agree with you there, but I think just in terms of no team is going to offer you life-changing money
Hey,
to
I
make you
think
make a decision you
teams.
don't want to make. Have you guys heard of Rueblur? It's a social media app that appreciates you, and it's also Black owned. Guys, this app is awesome. You get to customize your feed so you only see what you want to see when you open the app, and you get to enjoy a safe environment where racism, hate speech, harassment, bullying isn't tolerated whatsoever, while enjoying a fun, mannered, respectful discourse. And to be honest with you guys, since using this app personally, I've cut out my social media usage on other apps completely in half. I like to say this app is similar to if Instagram and YouTube had a perfect baby where everything you loved was in it and everything you hated was out of it. So guys, check out Rueblur, a social media app that appreciates you.
Things will get choppy though the second we start having to pay the Gibbs, the Laportas, and the Williams. I think because you're saying, okay, let's say we don't make the Super Bowl, but let's say we go deep playoff run again. Jameson Williams is going to want Brandon Ayuk money. You know, the Laporta, he's going to want at least Mark Andrew money.
But that's why
You
you
know,
look at Brad Holmes in the GM. That's our GM, correct?
yeah,
That's why you
yeah,
look at Brad Holmes in the GM. How do great organizations stay great organizations? You got to know when to move off guys and when not to move off guys. That's what
yeah.
his job
Because
is,
Hawkinson wasn't bad, but I like Laporta better.
And
And you
again,
got to know what guys to keep. I really hope that's the thing. You know what I said early on. I said Gibbs is going to end up being the odd man out, right?
but to
Because
your point,
out of all those positions, the one you can low key be right on is that running back. You know what I'm saying? Like hey man, you being able to do what you do, and if we're lucky, we might get. You know what I'm saying? How is Kamara still in this on the Saints? They had top receivers. They had a high paid quarterback. So you know what I'm saying? Maybe he takes a team friendlier deal or something. You know,
but maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just again to that point about Brad Holmes, and not to use Ayuk's words against him, but know what got you there. So when you at the end of the season look, okay, maybe we lost, maybe we won the Super Bowl and now people want money, or maybe we lost in the playoffs, people want money. Knowing what got you there is how you keep that organization together. Because again, when that's over, you're starting to look and find, okay, did Jamon have as big of an impact? Can we swap him out for a piece? Okay, Gibbs, maybe he needs, to stay and Montgomery needs to go. But okay, does that affect the nucleus? One thing people did say about Brad Holmes, especially at the draft, was about the Lions staff that was at the draft was, hey, these guys look like they're on target with what they're looking for and what they're getting. You know,
yeah.
they look like they're on target. So, you know, yeah, man, I think Lions got, some serious decisions in the seasons to come, but also too as a fan, that's why, man, you got to appreciate these years while they're here. If you're in Detroit, like you don't know, you would hope
But, hey, I
that
will say this about the Lions before we go. watching what they're doing with Jared Goff gives me hope for like a decade of like winning, because you can get a Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're doing this and we got Patrick Mahomes and it's like, man, when he leaves, we're so fried. Like, it's like, nah, bro. If they announce tomorrow, like, Goff's done for the year, like, I'm only taking away maybe 2 wins and saying Hooker's gonna get to 10, 11. Like, and I'm not saying Hooker's better than Goff. I just said there's gonna be less wins. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, just looking at like what our staff is, I would trust who you pick. I believe in Hooker because y'all picked him. You know what I'm saying? If y'all told me like, hey, we're bringing in, and not Andy Dalton, we're bringing in, Sam Darnold. Hey, if y'all, because I saw Goff in his last year. Granted he was a little hurt, but you were playing. I saw Goff in that last year. I saw Goff when the interceptions started being real close to the touchdowns. Year one in Detroit, we all watched that, right? But this organization right now is really looking like I trust who y'all pick.
Well, you know what
You know?
their next pick will be for to be for a mobile quarterback. Between Goff and Cousins and maybe one other quarterback, they're the last of just pure pocket quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Goff
well,
now, you see it this season starting to move outside the pocket. Hell, sometimes I think he's forcing it low key just so they don't get the idea to move off of him. You know what I mean? Because that's important now, man.
man, he ran some first downs.
The last first down, the one that mattered. Yeah, he ran
Yeah,
that. And again, I said this last year after they lost. You see, okay, you can't move. Like you can't move on there. You can't even throw it on a run. It looked bad. Again, him and Cousins, they're one of the last people that are pure pocket. So I think the future would be a mobile quarterback. But I
yeah.
think Goff is
Which
going to try and
which
squeeze
is
out a
what
Super
is
Bowl.
sitting on the bench right now. Which was what was
Yeah,
on the bench as the backup last year when we had what's the name, Terry Bridgewater.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think they understand this offense. Like, because I also think about that. Like, our offense is like really like at its best with Goff, still tapping out at 80% potential because there's still that extra 20 of if this guy could, you know what
Bro,
I'm
if it
saying?
was Brock Purdy there, I would be like Super Bowl, like without hesitation.
Brock Purdy, of all the guys
With
name,
no, and I say that not to discredit
any guy.
Purdy
I know what
or
you
Golf in
mean.
any
Yeah, I
way.
know
It's
what
the
you
fact
mean.
that if you can be precise enough where you don't make the wrong reads, like you consistently make good reads and you
Yeah,
can consistently move the chains and you can consistently put the balls in your playmaker hands and you're mobile, what is stopping our offense? Like again, what do we point out as the biggest weakness? If they can get to the quarterback, that's the weakness. Like if they can put enough pressure on Goff, it is a completely different offensive. It looks completely different as an
yeah,
offense. It doesn't look as powerhouse.
yeah,
So it's like when I think about again, I say mobile quarterback. If it was Brock Purdy, hey, you see what he was doing in that Super Bowl. A lot of people can hate on Brock Purdy. Was what it was. That's what was it, 3rd and 15, and he threw to use check for that first down where he juked. I don't know if it was Chris Jones, but when he juked that defensive lineman right there just to buy a couple more seconds to make the first one to throw it on a run. Pressure's the highest in overtime. One mistake, game over, and you complete the pass for a first down behind our O line, you would have more time. That guy wouldn't be there. That Chris Jones play that messed up the Juwan Jennings touchdown in the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's Penei Sewel there. That's Ragnow there. That's Glasgow there.
yeah,
That's Taylor Decker there. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just saying, I'm not saying I would take Brock Purdy over Jared Goff in his current moment. What I am saying though is like a mobile quarterback that can play that can match those stats would be something to argue,
yeah.
or at least think about.
I would take Brock Purdy, but only because of age. I think they're like the exact same, like far as level, but only because of age would I say Brock Purdy, and because I do believe Purdy's about to take a team friendly deal next year. I don't think he's going to go for 55, 60 million like everybody else. I
Yeah.
think Purdy, bro. I think Purdy would be cool. Like, bro, you could throw me 40 a year. and we just call it, you know what I'm saying? Call it even Stevens and go about my way. Like
Well, let's be honest. Is
I
he
think
not?
he's gonna take the Brady route.
I agree with you. If
Yeah.
if under the chances they win the Super Bowl in the next couple of years, and I don't know if their team is capable of getting that done this year, and that may
I
make
don't
them
I don't
rethink
think
some
they I
things.
don't think they're gonna do it this year. I don't think the 49ers, I think their window with the whole Debo and Kittle, and I think that window's
They
closed.
had a couple 100 million sitting on the bench against the Rams.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think they're going to revamp, and then I think Brock Purdy's going to take the new because I don't think they're getting rid of Purdy, right? Like
No, no,
unless
no,
there's like
no,
a
no.
magical like we could get Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. Like I don't think they're getting rid of Purdy. You know what I'm
No.
saying? I
Yeah,
think he takes a team friendly deal. I think they revamp the team, get a new Debo. I think Ayuk's going to be the guy they keep from the old. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to replace McCaffrey in the next year or two. Like, because McCaffrey's great, but we all knew eventually those, he had so many injuries in Carolina, that's going to start coming back up. He
yeah,
was having a lot of healthy and a lot of workload. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so, he got his pay raise. So, hey, all power to him.
yeah.
But yeah, I think, and they're showing you, wait, we can do, yeah, what is his name? James Madison. You know what I'm saying?
Jordan
Mason.
Mason.
Jordan Mason, yeah, man, he's going to get down there 100 yards regardless, you
Yeah,
know. So yeah, like I think they'll end up revamping in another year or two, and then that's Purdy will take that team. I don't think this team can do it. I don't think those guys that they've been to 3 Super Bowls.
yeah.
You
With
don't
three different
get,
quarterbacks
you know what I'm saying? You don't
or two
get that
different
many,
quarterbacks.
that two different, yeah. You don't get that many chances.
Yeah,
You just don't. You
yeah,
just don't get that many chances,
yeah,
So they can't get rid of Kyle Shanahan. You should just never do that.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah.
and I would keep Purdy and like I would just revamp that team in another year or two and trusting the having that core there, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Like, but I think, like I said with the Lions, I think we're that kind of organization now. It's like, hey, the days of Goff are not like we see his age. I don't even want to see like if Goff gets bad, I don't want to see a bad Goff year. I want to
facts.
see like, yeah, we started off slow, like a 1-4, and
Yeah,
we inserted somebody, and we ended up being like 9-7.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
Well, you
saying?
can see it now, and I don't want to say deterioration, but he's had an interception every game this
Every
season.
game. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. But I don't think that's age related. I think that's more so,
early season jitters.
you know what I'm saying? Early season jitters, and now you have expectation. You know what I'm saying? Like, last year, yeah, we ended the year good. Everybody's like, yeah, the what if Lions, right? No, now we, you got people on national TV saying, we got the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, Goff, you haven't had this expectation since like year 2, 3 of Rams with Sean McVay, you
yeah.
know?
And even
So
then,
now
were you
that
really
that
expected?
expectation is really, really, bro. Come on, man. When the last time fans ran down a coach's house?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
which hey, fans, never. Come on, be real. But ran
yeah,
down a coach's house, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like, is you know what I'm saying? Guy got shot at Eastern Market. Tailgating. Like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Them expectations are real. Y'all
Belief is
can't just
there.
have a bad year. We can't go win 7 games. City will lose his mind.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like you have real expectations. So I believe that's what that has caused.
yeah,
And they're clearly trying some different things because why go into the red zone and not target Laporta? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Clearly they're trying some things.
Well, Porta does look banged up, and I see Wright in the game more than having more targets than Laporta. And Laporta caught a pass and immediately went to the ground afterwards, like, had to get, help off the field. So I think he's dealing with something that's unexplained.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah,
but
but I
yeah,
just
man.
gotta
Yep.